What's everyone saying? It's your boy Someone Else was back again. I'm here today in front of St. Pancras International Station, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I got a ticket to Boston for £20. £20. But first we're going to have to go here, collect our tickets and take a train, not a plane, because we're not heading to Boston, Massachusetts, we're heading to Boston, Lincolnshire. And you're coming with me. Let's go. My train's in 10 minutes. Let's fucking go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Within 10, 12, 13.
Ooh, so just under 2 hours later, about an hour 45 later, we've made it to the wonderful Boston. Not Massachusetts, Lincolnshire. We're gonna head into town, have a look in a bit, and also gonna catch a bus down to Skegness. But first I need to find somewhere where I can get some food. But there's an Asda, but town is that way, not this way. So yeah, let's see what's going on in the town. Let's have a look. Now, originally I was just gonna do a video of me just trolling everyone and being like, hey, I've gone to Boston, I've gone to Massachusetts for £20. But then I read up a bit about Boston and I actually saw it's known as the most Brexit town in the UK. Pain. The pain. Boston is the 6th biggest settlement in Lincolnshire in the East Midlands. The town, which straddles across the River Witham, is known for this landmark, St Botolph's Church, known as the Stump, which is the largest parish church in England. A 10-minute walk from the train station and you reach here, the centre of town, Market Place, which has hosted a market in the town since at least the 12th century. I seem to have come on a very nice day today as well. The town centre is compact and walkable, which is nice. And I hopped down to the local Greggs for the customary sausage roll. Man, the cost of living crisis has got me contemplating my purchases here, man. The nearest Tesco is like 30 minutes away. As I mentioned, Boston is classed as the most Brexit town in the UK, and the stats are there to back that claim. The Borough of Boston overwhelmingly voted to leave the European Union, with 22,974 people, 75.6% of voters, voted leave, compared to the 7,430 people, 24.4% of voters, who voted remain. This is even with their local member of parliament, a Tory at the time, campaigning for a remain vote. You know, I've also just spotted I suppose I shall be back there later if my whole day doesn't fuck up. Boston is part of a trend seen in the top 10 most Brexit areas, with half of them being located in the East Midlands. The town has been largely a Tory area for at least the last 10 years, with a few notable independent candidates running and winning local elections in the past too. It just makes me wonder, why did this market town vote overwhelmingly for Brexit? Many people have had their different reasons for crossing leave on the ballot paper. You know, economics, sovereignty, better links with the Commonwealth, etc, etc. Well, as seen across the country, here it might have partly been fueled by voters' thoughts on immigration. There have been many reports deflecting blame on things that have gone wrong onto migrants, even EU migrants who before Brexit had a legal right to unrestricted migration, employment and residency anywhere in the UK. For sure, EU migration has definitely helped the UK, but sometimes people just want a scapegoat, innit? According to census data from 2011, the town has the highest proportion of Eastern European migrants in the UK, and it is definitely obvious when cutting about the town. There are many different walks of life are spotted up there, and a large number of Eastern European themed shops. I mean, I don't mind finding somewhere that sells Milka chocolate, Lay's crisps, and some Karlovačko beer, man. I'm a cultured man. Send that stuff my way. I can imagine that a large migrant contingent will have caused division and tension in the town, especially amongst the older and the working population. Some people just wouldn't want anything to do with migrants, which is a shame. Now, there's a whole load of things I can't comment on in terms of Boston and other places that voted heavily for Brexit. You know, I literally come from the statistically most Remain area in Britain. So, of course, the lived experience is wildly different. One thing that did shock me about the large EU migrant contingent in the town is that Boston's basically in the middle of nowhere. Like, why Boston? I guess it is partly because of Boston's location. You know, with more countries joining the EU, it meant that people could move to work in the UK, and with the East Midlands being the UK's breadbasket, opportunities for work doing jobs that the British people might not want to do. You know, like agricultural work will have opened up. And as more people start to come, businesses pop up to cater to this demographic, and it keeps growing and growing. And I understand that if you are new to a country, you'd want to move somewhere where there's people that you can relate to, people that speak the language, people that can help you with stuff that you need done. I mean, look at all the English folk on the Costa del Sol drinking Carling and Foster's and eating fish and chips. Come on. This was my first time visiting this part of the country, Lincolnshire. And my days, it's terrible in terms of connectivity with the rest of the UK. Like, I know people that live there know this already. Like, our train from Grantham to Boston and Skegness was a packed 4-car diesel train which ran every hour. It's a 2.25-hour train journey with a change at Grantham from London to Boston. And considering this is a town which is the same distance away from London as is Bristol. If you look at a map of railway lines nowadays, it's painfully painful. And it makes you realize how hard it is to live in an area like this if you can't drive and want to be easily mobile. It's very sparsely populated outside of the towns, which would mean that some areas lack any regular public transportation access. You know, there was a plentiful railway system back in the days before that man came and did the chop. Nowadays, bus travel, aside from the car, seems to be the main way of travelling around the region, with Stagecoach and local operator Briar Lane running services in and around Boston and Lincolnshire. Little competition and lack of government funding, thank you government, means that prices are higher than most would probably want, suffocating the possibility of affordable travel. These travel networks can stimulate economic activity, you know, especially from the younger population, allowing for busier high streets, blossoming businesses, and overall a better Lincolnshire. I thought I'd have a try testing out this connectivity by heading an hour and a bit down the road to the infamous seaside town of Skegness. But I had one gripe that I thought I'd bring up. See, I chose to travel Briar Lane. Support your local companies, innit? For sure, this isn't the only bus company I've seen, but I don't understand how companies think it's a good idea to not give any sense of fares on their services on their website, or even tell us if you take contactless payment. I understand that a large number of passengers are concession pass holders, so this is, you know, over 60s, they're disabled, and they won't be paying fares, but what about the average Joe? What about, I don't know, Billy from Friskney or Old Leek who wants to go down to, I don't know, Woodhall Spa or Horncastle, and he can't adequately plan because he doesn't know how much the bus ticket's gonna cost until he gets on the bus. Billy might want to buy a day ticket or, I don't know, something like that. But hold up. Wait, so I got on the bus, shout out boss lady, what woman, come on, she drove that bus with elegance. I found out this company doesn't even do day tickets. Like, let me just preface, I spent a lot of money on bus tickets that day. My bank account hurt. You know, it shouldn't be like this traveling by bus. It should be easy in terms of fares and it should be simple. You know, guess this is what happens when you're in the middle of nowhere. So much for leveling up, lads. But hold up, did someone say £2 fares? £2 fares. £2 fares. To be fair, I did visit both Boston and New York. You know, I'm Mr. Worldwide. Pitbull would be proud. But it doesn't help the wallet when you have to pay for multiple singles or even a return which you might not fully use instead of just one day ticket. Other than that, the bus ride was beautiful. It was very flat. Arriving into Skegness, it was definitely a different vibe. It felt more touristy and it was busy. It did feel like there were a lot of older people there, but of course it's a seaside town in England. Skegness used to be a vibe and a prime coastal destination for families before the European package holiday boom in the late 20th century. It was nice to see somewhere that had been voted the worst seaside resort in the UK looking relatively busy and well kept. You see, I didn't have too long to visit, otherwise I'd miss a later bus, the bus to New York, which would get me back in time to go home. Thank you Stagecoach and Berlin for your early last buses. But by the way, that Skegness bus system, I'm telling you, frequent, every 10 minutes. Ooh. As I mentioned before, the train there was absolutely rammed with people heading to the seaside. Keeping up with tradition, EMR have annually run summer special services every Saturday with 2 daily returns between Nottingham and now Derby to Skegness. Looking at Skegness station, the huge amount of platforms hint to how busy this place would have been back in its heyday. I'd love to visit some of these former seaside hotspots just to see what they are like nowadays. I could easily count on one hand the ones that have continued to be top tier coastal locations. Either way, my main message to anyone with power watching this is, yo, get more buses to these places, come on. Look, 65-year-old Sheila from Horncastle wants a bus direct from there to Spalding. Come on lads, you know, it can be done, come on. Well, I ended up later on the outskirts of Lincoln, then bussed it back to Boston. Oh, and I did go to Spoons.
Okay. So I did go back to that Spoons, had some food. Now train back to Grantham is in 15 minutes, so let's go get that. By the way, I changed my shirt because it's been on a hot day today. I walked out that Spoons acting like I was a genius, like I've been here before, like I knew the place. But nope, I've literally turned the wrong way. So heading back to the train station, train's in about 10 minutes. Gonna head back to London. And yeah, it's been a nice day out here in Boston. Went around Skegness, ended up in the outskirts of Lincoln because the bus was 10 minutes late and I could have gone into Lincoln, but nope, that didn't happen. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like and also subscribe. Drop a comment what you want to see in the future. It's been your boy Simon Explores. I'm gonna get my train back to London and I'll see you in the next video in a bit. See ya. Yeah.